Your boy, the Louisiana country boy, coming at you live once more again. Also, what I need for you to do, sit back, relax, put on your headgear. Oh, my worthless 2 cents is about to put something in your ear.
And here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's Sheba, the Louisiana country boy, coming at you live right here tonight. And look here, y'all. Oh, I got me a special guest on the show. Sheba, Sheba.
Sheba.
Oh, look here. I'm so excited. Yeah, y'all know old country boy don't do no introductions, and I ain't gonna even start. But what I will say is this: from the moment that I met this young lady, she has been genuine. She has been true to others, but more importantly, she has been true to herself. She is one of the hardest working women out there in the field that she's in. She ain't out here scheming, lying, cheating to get where she's supposed to be.
Come on.
She is doing it the right way. If Sheba, let me tell you, I can't speak for nobody else. I can only speak for old country boy. If Sheba says, I'm going to do this, she is going to do her darndest to keep her word. Let me tell y'all, I ain't been in this business 100 years, but I've been in this life for 58 years. Okay? And what I know is when someone says, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this. I worked it. She does her darndest to make sure she's out here working hard. She's out, man, yeah. I ain't going to talk about some of the clients she's got and what the stuff that ain't for me. Because I ain't here to do nothing but do what the good Lord told me. That's to facilitate over this. So I'm gonna close my mouth for real. Hey y'all, I went to my favorite place. I went to Golden Ticket. Oh, can you see it? I went to Golden Ticket, got me some more sweet tea because I knew it was gonna be one of them nights. I needed me some sweet tea. Woo-hoo! And I got it. Golden Ticket, thank you very much. So without further ado, hey, Sheba, that's the biggest word I got. Without further ado, that's my big word. That's the one I keep right there. I keep that in my pocket. You see, I dressed them nice for you. But anyway, without further ado, what I need each and every one of you to do is the same thing I'm about to do. Sit back, relax, put on your headgear. Oh, Sheba! Put something in their ear. Thank you. The platform is yours.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is thanks for having me. The second thing is Golden Chick need to pay you for them plugs. You chuckling. I'm serious. I'm for real.
I like that.
Yeah. And I want to say this. I appreciate what you said. I do try to follow through on everything that I say I would like to do or recommend. Of course, I'm not the creator of this universe. So some things are just not going to happen. But I do try really hard to make the things happen because I want to see people be successful and happy and have the things that they desire.
Right.
So yes, I'm excited to be here to talk.
I'm excited to have you. All I would say is this, Sheba, and I understand the business that you do, and you can talk about anything you want to. But I want you to tell the folks about Sheba. Look, you told me a little something on the side. Country boy can't hold nothing. Okay, you should know. Don't y'all tell me nothing. Look, unless y'all telling me as a minister, if y'all talking about, hey friend, I'm going to tell you something, I can't hold water. But if y'all telling me because you want me to hold it in confidence as a minister, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. But you told me you was gonna tell about the name thing. So at any point you want to, but you ain't. I mean, with it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Sheba was born May 4th, 1984, to Jackie and Albert under the name of Michelle Elizabeth Roy. That is my given name. I prefer not to use it because it's spelled like Michael, and I'm a woman. And that's what the M is for, an MS. Yeah. So S is Sheba. But I'll tell you the story of Sheba. Sheba also was born May 4th, 1984, to Jackie and Albert Roy. So when I was in my mom's stomach when she was pregnant with me, my dad had decided he wanted to name me Jehosheba. And she was like, no, but he called me that anyway. So that is also my name. So when I decided that I was being reborn in my adulthood, I wanted to take a name that meant something. But I also, I have a knack for transmutation and reframing things. So because that name was always ugly to me, I wanted to make it something beautiful that I loved and felt empowered by. So I took it as an adult woman when I was always feeling ashamed of, even being referred to as Jehosheba. So I was like, I'm going to say I'm Jehosheba and I'm calling myself Sheba.
Mm.
And so that's what I do. And I mean, people can do what they want to do with it, but like, I would like people to call me Sheba, you know. I mean, MS CreativeAF is fine too. That's the name of my website.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Look,
fine.
I'm still sitting here in shock about I like that is so. I don't know. Maybe people ain't as deep as me, but that is so deep. That
What?
the fact that you said I'm going to take something and I'm going to create something beautiful out of it.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm just. I'm in a country boy stun moment.
Okay, well, let's talk about it a little bit more. Do you know the story of Jehosheba?
Tell me, girl. Tell me.
Okay, so in Kings and Chronicles, I can't remember exactly which one she's more prominent in, but she was the daughter of the king of Judah. So her stepmom, when the daddy passed away, and then her, I guess it was her half brother, which is her son, also died. The stepmom was like, "Well, I want to be the king of Judah. I want to be the ruler. So I want all of the grandkids and all the other sons and everybody. I want them killed because this is my shit." Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss or not. Anyway, that's what she said, right? So Jehoshaphat gets a message down from the divine. It's like, you need to take this baby and hide it in the temple because this child is the rightful heir to the throne.
Mhm.
So Jehoshaphat and her husband take the baby and they hide the baby in the temple. After 7 years, she brings the child out. The queen is slain in the street and the rightful ruler of Judah is restored and, the kingdom is restored. So that is the baby that brought forth the Davidic line, which is what brought forth Jesus. So Jehoshaphat was a hero. And don't talk about her enough. So when I was looking for a name that was really strong and powerful and feminine, I was like, I already have one. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use this. And, I just felt like my dad was such a spiritual person that he must have had some reason for wanting to give me that name. And I'm like, I should own it because I know there's power in it. And I think it has a lot to do with what I really came here to do. And maybe I haven't even tapped into it yet, which is to help kids, and to restore power to the Black community through the children.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. This is what chilled through my body when you were telling that. Sometimes there's greatness instilled in us even before we can realize what it is. We are, you were, then you became. And see, sometimes we can't see. That's like this life, isn't it? And I said I was gonna shut up, but you done got me over here and you done got me all stirred. Sometimes in this life, others can see in us what we can't see in ourselves because we are so caught in where we are, but they are tied in where we're going.
Yeah. I'll say something to that too. I think a lot of time our haters can see that in us too.
Come on.
And we don't realize that that's why they're haters. We think they haters for just regular, average, reasons, but it's because the light is so bright and we don't even have it turned up yet. So the job then of the hater is to be a suppressant of your light. And so they will do everything in their power to convince you that you are nothing, because you really are everything. And the thing is that those people also have a beautiful divine light. They just don't see it because they're not focused on themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of time when it hurts to focus on you, because I was there too at one time. I was there too. And I was a very bitter person because I had been traumatized and turned into that just through experience. And so I couldn't look at myself because it hurt so much. And so what I did instead was I drank alcohol to keep myself from having to hear the enemy in my mind.
Mm.
And so when I started embarking on this journey, and that's why I say when I had to reborn, I mean, this is not a joke to me.
Right.
Like I really had to become a resurrected individual. And there's a book by Neville Goddard called Resurrection, and everybody should listen to it. If you need to change your life, if you need to change direction, if you need to change who you are, you need to change how you present, you need to change how you feel about yourself, you should listen to or read that book, because it will definitely give you a blueprint for how to reframe in the mind. Okay. But yeah, it's not a joke to me.
You
Not a
know,
bit.
I feel you, girl. Girl, let me tell you something. The renewing of the mind. I don't think people really grasp what that truly means, the renewing. And see, here's the thing that a lot I missed. I can't say by nobody. I can't talk about. What I missed so much was I thought the renewing was one time. It's a one-time thing. It was a one-hit quitter. But what I have discovered is it's daily. Daily, I have to shed off some things. I have to renew it daily. It's a daily growth because I'm daily growing. I'm growing daily from what I was yesterday. And in order to grow, I have to renew my mind and go like, I can't be what I was.
Absolutely.
Not even yesterday. I can't be what I was not even 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Renewing of the mind.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about it is like you said, every day requires a new self almost. And I think, and I'm not going to call myself the type of person who just doesn't have, long friendships or solid relationships, because that's not true. But I have had to let go of so much that I will leave you. I will leave a situation. I will leave a thing, because I trust that more will come. Got to. Or if it's supposed to be us, or if it's supposed to be this, I'll come back to it. Like, you can't be attached to material items. You just can't. Like, it's like, and I don't want to be like super spiritual, but I am a spiritual person. I am. So you must be attached to the creator, divine, Allah, however you refer. That's where your focus and your attachment should not be on these material items and these things. Because if you lose them, then you also fall over, because you lost your stability and your anchor. And that's not what's supposed to keep you anchored. You're supposed to be able to say, hey, we got to go. I got God with me. Let's move. Like, let's talk about Moses. Let's talk about moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to let the stuff go and move. And that includes sometimes people and relationships, jobs, vehicles, homes, whatever.
Yes. And, I so understand, because sometimes when I see people so wrapped up in things, because some of us at some point in our life thought that those things made us.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us value.
Absolutely.
And we got to, I don't care if it was things or people, but sometimes we stay surrounded by people because we are so surrounded by them that we don't have any internal value. So
Yeah.
we're allowing these things on the external to say, this is what our value is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like what she said. I'm not afraid to lose anyone or anything but God. Yeah. And I mean, I think that goes back, like what you said, that goes back to just the haters. Like sometimes we get conditioned to feel like that's what friendship or that's what love, that's what support is the microaggressions and them like little shady comments. Like you'll really be like, that's what friendship is.
Mm.
You're conditioned to it. And so when you are introduced to real love or something that feels like it's real support, you sabotage that because you don't know what it feels like. And you're like, oh, that's not right. Let me kick it away. And I've seen it on so many occasions, like, like coming into a person's life to help them and try to change their life for the better. And they stab you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa. But like, you don't have to stay there either. There's nothing that says I have to continue to take your abuse from your trauma conditioning. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No. Look, and you're right, because sometimes those people trauma become our problem.
Right.
And what people, and I'm about this. And it's just me. I say the greatest gift I have that God gave me was choice.
Hey,
I
come
can
on.
put it on nobody else. If I stay, it's because whatever I was given, I made a conscious choice to. This is what I was given. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it was wrong, but I evaluated and made my decision on the things that I was given. I made the choice on what I had. If I stayed in something that was ugly, it's because guess what? I evaluated this, and this, and then I made that choice. I can't never look at another person and say, well, you did, because guess what? It was my choice.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing for me to do was to ever say and take the one word. You know the one word people hate? Accountability.
You're right. An unhealed person will project their trauma on those that are there to help and truly love them. Absolutely. And let me say this about choosing to stay in situations that hurt versus making a choice to move or leave. I feel like, again, sometimes that goes back to how much you love and value yourself, because it wasn't until I had put myself higher on this list that I could say, well, I don't like how that feels. Because but for many years, I did not care about myself, at least not to the point that I cared about others and satisfying them. So I would be like, well, it doesn't matter if you don't feel good. Does the other person feel okay? Well, then you just have to take it. But I was so bitter because I felt like I was giving, and I wasn't getting anything. But I also was not demanding and setting boundaries that said, I also deserve right here. So what's going to happen is either we're going to come to a balance or we're not going to operate together. And that's okay. So, I even wrote a song about it, about choosing myself, because it was the time for me to make that statement. And it took me a long time. And it wasn't until I took a new name and was like, I don't drink, I don't this, I don't operate like this, I don't sabotage myself and my physical body, because I really did not want to be alive. So I would do all these things like starve myself, drink too much, drug in, just living a reckless life, because I really was trying to low-key kill myself, but I wasn't really confident enough to just do it. So I just lived like a lifestyle that did not lend itself to healthy humanity. So it wasn't until I was like, I need this body. Like recognizing that I'm a divine vessel and that I have work to do here on behalf of the Creator. I need the body to do that. So I was like, well, I got to operate in a different way. And so when people started mistreating the body, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This here is important.
Right.
you know? So when my feelings would get upset, I would be like, okay, well, let's check it. Is this trauma? Is this real? Is this person being, ugly to you? If they're not, maybe you need to check yourself. Maybe it's your trauma. But if I found that it was like unnecessarily ugly, I would be like, hey, I don't have to operate here. It's okay. You don't have to change. Don't worry about changing. Be you, but I'm not going to be over here.
Yes, yes,
Be
yes.
you.
And when you say that, what I do a lot of my life and taking some of those things and doing a lot of those things, it was a fear of being alone or thinking that I would be alone. It wasn't until this old boy right here had to say, I got to love the one person I see when I wake up every morning. That fella in the mirror, when I looked in the mirror and I really didn't recognize the fella, it's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
When you look at somebody and it's a total stranger to you, and the person that you're looking at is you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. When you realized you didn't know yourself, did you try to get back in touch with the self you used to be, or did you just become someone new?
I had to go back.
Mm.
For myself, I had to go back. I had to go back to where it began. I had to find where I lost me at.
I love that.
And what I had to do was go back to that place, go back to that moment in time, and see what I discovered. For me personally, I was a grown person answering as a child.
I love that. Excuse my water.
That's okay.
I'm living a hydrated life, so my skin can be. But you know what? That's really important what you said, because that was a thing for me too. Because I realized that, and sometimes I still catch myself feeling like a little girl who's getting picked at, and I'm like, you're an adult. You don't have to be friends with that person, or you don't have to answer that phone. You don't have to answer that email right now. So but I had to, just like you said, I had to have a relationship with her to be able to say, girl, chill. Because she's still going to be there, you can't eradicate your shadow. You can't, cover up your inner child that's still trying to figure out, do people love me? You have to become friends with it.
You have to go back to that. I had to go back to that person that felt however they felt. And I had the adult me had to go to that child me and be the comforter for that child me, because what was happening was the child me was taking over the adult me and was controlling everything, because every action or reaction, it wasn't no good adult me. It was still a child me. It was a child me that was afraid. It was a child me that didn't feel like he was good enough. It was the child me that felt like, I can't do this. The child me say, I can't lift that. The adult me got muscles out the heel, but the child me said, you can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
And it was not, for me, it was at the point of going back, having a sit down, come to Jesus meeting and say, now we gonna move forward. Like you said, you still there.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, it doesn't go away. I think that's the thing that the misconception about healing and trauma recovery is like, oh, I'm healed. I can't stand to see somebody say I'm healed, because it's a continual process of healing. It's like, instead of saying I'm healed, I don't know what y'all talking about, because that is the behavior of somebody who's not healed.
Come on.
Say I am healing. I respect another person is still healing, because we all are. So that's a sign of growth. I see you acting out. You probably haven't done your work. It's okay. I don't have to take it personally. And then you go, like you said, you go conference with you, because it's gonna, every time you get triggered, it's the same thing. And people gonna piss you off. I got pissed off today. I got pissed off yesterday. I got pissed off the day before, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still healing. And that was something that I had to come to terms with too, because at first I was like, I cannot feel anything. I could not get upset. I could not be angry. But I'm like, those are not real human emotions flat. I'm going to get triggered. So then I taught myself how to use the triggers to talk to the inner child. Okay, well, what are we upset about right here? Oh, this feels like the time that on the playground that girl threw mulch at you. Well, let's talk about it.
Right.
Also, fuck her. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And that's, I think that for so many, for myself, again, the hardest part is nobody wants to go back.
Yeah.
I said this thing once, is that it's take me to the spot. Take me to the spot of where it happened. See, what a lot of people have done, again, and let me speak, what I did and what some others do, I see now, is you cover up the spot. The spot is there. But what you do is you put a degree in front of the spot. You put a house in front of the spot. You put I'm chasing the bag in front of the spot. You put a spouse in front of the spot. But see, all of that stuff is in front of the spot.
Yeah.
Because that old stuff, that old whatever is still there. And the hardest thing to do for me to do was what I had to do was hire a moving company. And they had to come in and start moving all the stuff that I had put in front of the spot.
Yeah.
See, now what has happened is the spot is exposed.
So what you gonna do with it?
But here, see, let me before that, guess what scares a lot of people? What scared me? It wasn't even truly the spot. It was the stench of the spot when I got close to it.
Oh, I almost touched that thing.
At that point, you turn around because it's like,
yeah,
I can't even handle getting that close to it. But see, until you go back into that thing,
yeah,
and that's the hardest part for so many, is actually going back into it. Because what happens is now you have to relive what it was that caused the pain that you in.
You better speak on it. I know that's never y'all show.
I would much rather walk around here sick than go and get healed, because if I do, what they got to do is I got to go back into that very thing that I remember what the pain was like then. So you telling me what they always tell me, I got to reopen that wound?
But you know what I found? And I think this is so powerful. And I wish other people could see it like I see it, I guess. And maybe that's why I need to write a book, because maybe they will if I tell them. But really, every time you go back into a wound and you put the salve of love on it, and you can stitch it up after you've been back into it and dug back out of it, it's so empowering. Like you literally find a new level of you, a new level of light and excellence, because I really believe that when we are carrying all of our trauma in our energetic body, it's very dense.
Yes.
And so when you are doing your work and you're going from spot to spot, loving on yourself and allowing yourself to, overcome and feel again, you literally become lighter in your energy. You become lighter. And I mean that in the physical sense of, oh, I feel lighter. Oh,
Yes.
But also lighter. You will be also brighter. You will begin to glow the more that you get into that and you touch your own soul in that healing.
Yes.
And that is so important. So like, I'll even tell you, last week, my mom was driving down the street somewhere and she said, oh, I'm not going to come this way anymore. And I was like, why? And I was on the phone with her. She had mentioned a time that she had to drop off somebody we love, and I guess they were living a tough life anyway. It made her remember that moment. So she really said, I'm never going to drive this way again. And I said, honestly, you should drive that way every day until you don't feel affected by it.
Yes.
You should drive that way every day until you have purged all of your feelings. You should drive that way every day and cry every time you pass it by, because that will allow you to be like, okay, I can drive that way again. And like maybe you'll think of things that you never thought of, or you'll be able to say with clarity, like, I can respect the struggle that that individual was going through, instead of being like, I'm never going that way again. Like, you cannot be afraid to look at the trauma, because honestly, some of the stuff that I was carrying and I was mad at and hurt by, like as an adult, I'm like, fam, that was not even that crucial.
Mm,
And if I hadn't been able to go back to it and say, it's okay. Like mulch on the playground, like you're struggling to go to a public speaking situation because somebody threw mulch at you in first grade. Like, come on. Like that can't be the reason why you're not a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe yours is different because mine are all ridiculous and there's so many of them. But like maybe people's are different, but it's just like that's the kind of little stuff that if you really start looking at it, you'll find
right.
stuff like that. And it's like that is so minute, but it felt big to a 5-year-old. So
Yes.
that's why
Yes.
it's like nobody likes me.
Right.
You know, especially when
Right.
you're really sensitive, everything feels like a huge slight, and it's really not, you know.
That's so true. That what you say is so true. You know, being able to, I love what you said about telling your mom that, and that's that process. Is being able to. What I discovered in my life is I didn't know how strong I was until I had to be strong.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was over until I had to come face to face with it. People do holler the old heel, oh that don't. Can you go look at it? Can you go talk to him or her? Can you go back to that place? Because if you can't sit here and if the healing process takes, remember, healing means that which was is no more.
Hmm.
So if you can't go back to it and now look at it from a whole different perspective, work on that thing.
Yeah.
Work on that thing.
Yeah. And I think also be able to acknowledge that some wounds are much deeper than others.
Yes.
And it's okay if it takes longer for you to
Yes.
work through it,
Yes.
or to learn to accept it, because again, whatever the trauma was, you don't get to erase the thing, and you don't get to erase that it hurt you. So it's about acceptance, it's about recovery, it's about reframing how you see it, because that was the easiest thing for me after I figured out, like doing it after a certain amount of years, was reframing it and being able to say, well, you know what, that made me strong, powerful, intelligent, a teacher for this. And like I was telling somebody on the show recently, but I wouldn't be able to teach what I'm going to teach on if I hadn't had them terrible experiences. So I can't really be mad at them, because that's what made me the authority in recovery of that, you know?
Right. And you know, and each one of us, again, each one of us has different things. But what I will say, and I believe this, some folks say, no, you're wrong. Each one of us has something. Each one, I truly feel that each one of us has gone through something. Some of us, again, some of our trauma may not be as deep as others. Some of it may be real deep. And you are so correct. What gets me, don't listen to nobody tell you how long or when you should be over anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because them folks, whatever theirs was, guess what? It was theirs.
Yeah.
Their process and your process, the timing ain't the same for everyone. And I wish people would truly understand that. Oh, you should be over that by now. No, you should be over yours by now. You can't tell me when to get over mine.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not the governor of how long it takes me to heal.
Right.
I mean, somebody asked me recently too. I feel like I've been doing a lot of shows recently, but it's good because it's with intention I'm doing them. But I think somebody asked me, like, how to process those moments when you know you should be doing like forgiveness, but you can't.
Mm.
And I'm
Mm.
just like accept that you're not over it yet. Like, don't feel guilty about it. Just be like, I'm not over it yet, you know, because you're entitled to be holding on to that. It's heavy
Right.
and you should let it go, but you're entitled to hold on to it. It's your anger, frustration, pain. You know, I can't tell you to lighten up immediately by forgiving, and not necessarily the other party, but operate in some forgiveness for yourself, you know?
Yes. I agree with that. You know, what I learned for me, and I went through this process, was before I could forgive or even ask for forgiveness from anyone exterior, I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself, and I asked my heavenly Father for forgiveness. For me, that was the beginning of my healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I can't go over here and say, "Oh, will you forgive me?" or "I forgive you," when I still had that stuff in me,
Yeah.
and I had to. That took some time. It
Yeah.
took some time because a lot of mine was blaming folks for what they did and never taking accountability and responsibility for myself. And it was always them. You know, I was good at pointing at, well, you know what you done. You
Absolutely.
and folks be like, what I do? You know
Yeah.
what you done. You know what? That get me about them folks. You know what you did. How do I know what I did unless I ain't got to tell you what you did?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Then don't.
You know, I think this though, like when you're holding on to something that you should forgive and it have to do with somebody, your forgiveness of them is really for you. I mean, and we've all heard that, because I really believe that that also makes you lighter in your body. Anything that can add density to your energy, because it's like water or liquid, your energy. So like, what is it made of? Is it poison or is it sweet juice? You know, which one is it? So, you know, it's your responsibility to make sure that it's not swamp water, you know.
That's
But I then also have this to add, because I feel like sometimes what are you really doing when somebody does something to you? Sometimes you just alive and you're existing. So what do you do in situations like that when people just are naturally inherently disgusted by you and you didn't do nothing?
hmm. You know what? I embrace them. I love
Mhm.
them. You know, and the reason I do, again, is because everyone has a purpose. And sometimes for me, and I'm a little bit different than most folks. What you see about me is how you do see me, but also how you see me could be some things that I could grow from to be a better me. So I'm one that's willing to take the criticism as constructive, however you see me, because now it's going like, okay, am I? Because I'm only seeing me through my eyes. You're seeing me through yours.
Mm,
Now, yes, it could be that you're seeing me through your tainted eyes of some things, but if there were some things again that about me that agitated, aggravated that inner child of yours,
yeah.
and this is how you responded. Okay, well, what was that thing about me that did that? Because now both of us can grow together. Because there could be something like, oh, I did not know that aspect of me,
Yeah.
and I
I
don't
hear
take
that.
it hard. Some people take it hard. Some people like you can't take it. Yeah, I don't take it. Well, don't talk. You know, everybody's not meant to like us. Everybody's not meant to see us in the greatest light. Why they're supposed to? Because everybody's not in the same light that we're in.
Yeah.
Everybody's not in the same stage that we're in. For some people, they might have to come in. You know, there are some of us that can walk outside with the sun shining and not put on sunglasses. Some of us have to put them on because the light's too bright.
That is true. That is true. So I guess that's the thing, is like, you know, and I'll just be transparent. I think I disgust a lot of people just naturally. And, it's kind of been a thing. It's a theme in my life. It's okay. Like, I'm sorry. I apologize. But I'm not sorry because I can't be anybody but myself,
That's right.
And so when I think about it, that's why I ask, because I'm like, well, what are your thoughts on that? Because it seems to take place. So I'm like, am I doing something when I'm showing up and I'm just existing?
Well, I mean, because some people may look at you and think that you're over the top. And let me tell you about the people that think that you're over the top. The only people that can think that you're over the top are the one that's on the bottom.
Oh, well, I'm going to say this publicly. I don't think that I'm above or better than anybody.
No, I'm just saying, but you got to remember, like the only person, look, when we look at a balloon flying high, we be like, oh, look how high it is.
Yeah.
But guess what? Them same people that's flying in that airplane and they look at the balloon, they don't say, ooh, look how high that thing is. They say, look how low it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I guess you know what? Maybe I am over the top to some people. But
Yeah.
like, how am I supposed to make my hair smaller? Because it's gonna be big. Like, this is what my hair looks like. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of years. I grew up with white women, and I wanted my hair to be smaller because they always had something to say about my hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why now I just let it be big as F. I was gonna say that. But yeah, that's why I just let it be huge because like it's about self-acceptance. So yeah, it might be a lot for some people to handle. Like you don't have to be over here. But one thing that I have to do is continue to be with myself every day. So I can't not be myself because you want me to smile less or you want me to not break into a dance or have a good time. Like go be somewhere else.
Right.
If you like it miserable, I love that for you and go do it over there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Go do it
And
over there.
that's how it should be. I've seen so many, and self included, that so many times we water ourselves down.
Mhm.
We water ourselves down. We water down who we are to be accepted by people who would pour water on us.
You better say that thing. Who would pour water on us?
And that's what, when you come to that thing, like, no, I'm not going to eat. I am who I am.
Yeah.
And the fact is I'm very, very proud of who I am. I'm very proud of what God has created me to be.
Come
And
on.
guess what? Who I am is not who I'm gonna be. I just am who I am at this moment. It just ain't who I'm gonna be. And if you don't like me now, baby, sit back, relax, put on your headgear.
You finna be disgusted? You about to be disgusted. Speaking of people being disgusted, let's talk about the banquet. Speaking of people being disgusted, let's talk about it. Congratulations to you. I'm coming up here and being the first ever master of ceremonies. I love it. I love it.
You know that what's that thing they be saying? Oh, you gonna be sick of me.
Prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. But really though, I asked that just because I used to really be a people pleaser. And I always wonder, okay, but let's talk about it. Is there something wrong with me? Is that a reason why I feel like I'm having this problem? And like maybe there is something that I can do to accommodate people. But I don't want to because I did that. And you know what? You know what I found in that, country boy?
What's that?
They still don't like you. Even
all.
whenever you're accommodating, you're trying to keep the peace and you want to adjust so that they do. I still don't like you because just like we talked about in the beginning, they can see the thing in you that you don't see.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how much you turn down or you, like you said, pour water on yourself or water yourself down. They still don't like you. So you might as well turn it up.
Just be who you're going to be. Be who you're going to be. This is what I said. And I love this about this thing. What I'm going to do, what the country boy going to do is this. I'm going to follow God's instructions on how to build the table and let him seat the people. That's what I'm going to do.
For you to eat in front of them?
I'm gonna just let him. He tell me how. He said, go ahead and do this. I'm gonna follow his instructions on how to build a table. And guess what? He is gonna be the one saying, you sit, you sit, you sit, you sit. You're not welcome. I'm not gonna decide who's gonna sit at the table. I'm gonna just be the one who's building the table by his instructions. Too many people want to be like, well, I'm gonna build. I'm not trying to build, because guess what? I know in my filthiness and all the things that I've been through, the kind of table I will build, I'm gonna be trying to choose the people.
Okay, I want this one right here and that one right there, and we want to put a big steak right here, because like it would be calculated and it would be disgusting by itself.
Exactly.
That's not it.
Trying to build our own table and seat our own people. Sometimes we don't even understand the people we seating at the table are our very enemies who've been putting on this front. That's why this old boy right here, I ain't seating nobody. I'm just gonna build a table to his instructions.
Do you feel like, have you ever had a relationship with somebody that you thought was your friend and then it turned out that they were an enemy?
You know, I don't know. I've never. Wait, you finna make me laugh. Yeah, my 4 ex-wives. I'm just saying.
No, not 4. You've been married 4 times before? For real?
Yes, but no, you know.
I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad. I have the opposite problem. I've never been married. Okay.
No, and I don't. I say that, but you know, I still love each and every one of them.
Yeah.
I respect them to death, but I've never had. I can't say. There may be people that have seen me, because Old Country Boy has been who I am, and I'm going to be this person. My heart has been. Yeah, there's been some pulling away. And when I say some pulling, that's the hurting part, is that you think like, wow. I used to think like, well, I don't get invited here. Man, the phone is so dry. But what I know is, for me, what I've seen personally, my separation has increased my elevation.
Oh,
because
wow.
what I understood was what was happening was a lot of stuff, not that I had to, but what I was taking on was a lot of people's baggage and their stuff. And I was the one that was carrying the bags for them. Yeah. They would come and bring their bags to me. So what God did for me was say, no, what I need to do is separate you. And I need to, what we talked about, renew your mind, the way you understand, like, you don't have to be connected to everyone. You don't have to be the plug in for everyone. Mm. That's not, you ain't the fixer. When I got that, all I do now is I just walk this. I walk this walk and I walk it, not trying to, oh, let me go over here and help you. Oh, let me run over here. Oh. And because that was me, because what I was doing, consciously and unconsciously, was neglecting my hurt, trying to help somebody else.
Absolutely. I hear that. Well, I asked that question just because, you're not a woman. I think that happens to women probably more frequently. And I don't think it's really that these people are our enemies. People just be dealing with their own stuff. And sometimes it oozes out onto the relationship. And again, yeah.
This was and my co-host and I are gonna do this show. And when I was up in Baltimore, we had this conversation. And Country Boy got his own opinion about stuff. And they were talking about having the difficult conversation. Now, I'm a little bit country and I have my own opinion. My opinion was, look, let me tell you something. If I'm close with somebody and we close and we tight and we friends, we done roll, we done did this thing, there is no conversation that should be difficult. If I look at somebody and say, ooh, I got to have a difficult conversation with them, I don't need to have a conversation at all. Because we ain't even close. If I have to think that this is going to be hard, I don't even need to talk to you. That shouldn't be a conversation. Because for me, that's just me.
That
I
makes
can
sense
see.
though. I never
I
even
just
thought of it
we
like
ain't
that.
that tight.
So then you just don't even talk about it. You fade to black, or how do you continue to have a relationship if you need to talk about
What I
something
do
and they're
is
not close
if
with
it's
you?
this thing about them and the difficult conversation, maybe who well, they're doing this or what they have done, they're doing this to me to offend me or these things. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna call. If it's something that you're doing, I'm gonna call you on what you're doing because a lot of things what happen is sometimes people do something, say something, act some way about us over and over again, and we never say anything. So when we finally get fed up, then we want to say something. Now they're looking at us like, well, why you didn't say nothing like 20 years ago? So
Right. Like I'm so surprised that I always was a jerk.
So the thing is, call it when you see it. Be done with it. Okay, call it when
Mhm.
you see it. That ain't a difficult conversation because look here, we friends. This right here, boom, boom. Okay, I think what was it? Tyler Perry said something. If somebody does something that's bothering you, and you tell them, and you see them trying to adjust what they were doing, them people okay. But if somebody does something to you, you tell them this right here bothers me, and they don't do nothing. Man, get a saw and cut them. Go on.
Yeah.
Because let them be where they at, because that's who they are.
Yeah. I think that goes to work relationships too, like with
Yeah.
clients. Like that was one of the hardest things for me to learn as an entrepreneur was that like I don't have to continue these relationships. It's okay for me to be like, yeah, I really still respect you and want to see you grow, but like I don't want to be your anything in business because we don't really mesh well.
That's
And
it.
that's okay. Like there are other people who can serve you. And I'm
Yes.
sure that at some point after you've had 15 different people that you struggle to work with, maybe you'll realize it's you.
Right. Right. You know
Yeah.
what old country boy said about that, right?
Right.
Old country boy said this right here. I want to see everybody eat.
Mm.
I want to see everybody eat. However, there are certain people when they come to eat, I have to give them a to-go plate. I'm gonna feed you, but you just can't sit around here with me.
I love that to go play because you can't stay over here and sit by me. I still
No,
want you to eat,
I
but you
want
need
you
to
to
take it
eat.
over there. You need to take it over there. I love that.
I'm never gonna say I ain't gonna feed you. I'm cutting you out. No, I will, but you just gotta get it to go. Here you
Yeah.
go. Look, you ain't even gotta bring your own. I already had one. I knew you was coming.
Mhm. Already. I put it in, we've got the little lid, close it up. I even had the styrofoam with the marker and wrote your name on it, put it in a little bag, tied it up at the top, baby.
Here
Here
you
you
go.
go.
There's some silverware in there too.
Go ahead. Love you. Bye bye. Yeah.
but that's the point that we have to get to is that it's not we bring people in. People show us. People show us. There go my co-host. My co-host know this, and I say this all the time. People, people show us daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. They show us the position that they can play in our lives.
Mm.
They show us. Now, what a lot of us do is we take bench players and probably try to put them in the starting lineup. Now
Yeah.
you know daggum well he ain't no full quarter player. Now he can play good for one quarter. Okay, he good. But you know he can't play all four. So, but you like, but I want to, you know he can't do it. Or she can't do it, or they can't do it. But we steady trying to put them in as starters when they are nothing but bench players. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with bench players.
It's Trina's comment. We can't continue to ignore the big ass red flags. Trina. Okay, but go back to bench players. I want to hear this.
But we can't take the bench players and assume that they're starters.
Oh.
Just because we want them to be starters, just because they show this, they show us a little glimpse. They're all
Yes, a
good.
glimpse, a glimmer. Oh, I think they got it. And then all the time with the fumbling and the never, and you should have never got it in the game. What is happening here? What?
Leave them where they are. When you need somebody just to come in for a couple of minutes of the game, go get them because you know they're reliable for that. Because that's what they're reliable for. And I'm not
Mm,
saying in every aspect. There are some people. they may be starters in somebody else's life,
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, but maybe not yours.
but maybe not ours.
Mm.
And
I
I feel
like
like they're
that.
just a bench player.
You can go start over there.
And that's okay. And you accept them. Like, we have to know people and know the roles that they can play in our life.
Yeah.
And stop trying to put them in. Now what is happening is now we're forcing them to try to be something that they can't be, and then we're disappointed and mad at them when they fail. Can't happen. And that's just the reality of that for me. That's just how I see it.
Well, I like that. I like that analogy, and I feel like I'm going to think about it every time I meet somebody new. You know, because I often do wonder. I'm like, is I'm the problem? And I wonder that because I'm like, it be people often who try to control me, and that's why I'm like, am I just being obstinate, or when I like you said, I might be over the top, I might be, feel like you need to take me down, but it's like, why? Especially if we're supposed to be on the same team, like how did I become your opponent from the same team?
Right. That I will never understand. If we're on the same team, then we should be complimenting each other. We should be inspiring each other to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
There should never, for me, there's never a threat on a team. There should never be a threat on a team. It doesn't matter who becomes MVP. It doesn't matter who gets the scoring title. It doesn't matter, because guess what? For me, personally, my end is this. Did the team win?
Yeah, because I've definitely, this is me. Like any project, especially if it's a team or collaborative project, I'm probably going to do a lot of work. And that's not to say that other people are not doing work, but I'm going to do a lot of work. And that's fine. I don't ever mind to do a lot of work. And when the project is completed, I don't need nobody to come out and say, dang, Sheba did a lot of work.
Right.
When the project is done, I'm going to go, look at what we did.
Yes.
Bitch, look at this project. Look at this.
Yes.
So I just want everybody to respect the fact that it's okay for me to be able to do like an outer ring and be like, okay, boom, we got that. Like I look at creatives like spiders. Like if we got to build a big web and community, it's all right if I build the outside structure. Because if I saw it, okay, well, outside we need to do it like this. Okay, now boom, we need these people over here, create this. We need these people to do this. It doesn't matter if I know how to do all the functions. I want a team to do it. I don't want to do everything just because I know how to do it.
Right.
You know? So that's what I mean. And I'm just having a self-reflective moment right here where I'm like, is it just hard to be a boss? Like you said, is it just difficult to be the person who has the big picture?
It's not. And what your mindset just has to be, in my opinion, is you just have to know the players and know their capability, know their strengths and know their weaknesses. And you just have to play to both of those. That's how you build a successful team. But the greatest part about it is they have to have the mind to win.
Yeah, as a team, not as an individual.
Yes, they have to have the mind to win. And what they have to say is that it doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. I just thought about this. That girl, that Kari girl that does the running, right?
Shikari.
Yeah. Okay, she also runs on a relay, right? There's one that does the first leg, correct? Then the second leg, I think it's 3 legs. I don't know how many legs it is. I ain't that good.
4.
It's 4 legs. Okay. Well, there's one that does 1. There's one that does 2. There's one that does 3. Then there's one that brings it home, right? Now, is the girl that runs the first leg mad because they won?
Bet not be. What she need to say is, cool, I did my part.
And we won.
And we won.
That's what it's about.
Somebody told me recently that football was the best example of a team sport, because this is something that, I've been discussing with people. And they were like, football is the one, because essentially when somebody brings you onto a project, they need to realize as the team owner that you're now the quarterback. So like they don't need to try to get on the field, and they don't need to try to do the job of the quarterback. I like baseball too, Trina, because I think baseball is an excellent way to structure your organization. Like if you're building a large corporation, or even an organization that requires more smaller business units, I love baseball for that.
Yeah,
Are you still there?
I'm here.
Are you frozen, or are you reading the comments?
I'm reading the comments. I'm trying to.
I can see that. That's why I was responding to. I like the baseball mentality too. But like I said, I think baseball is a really awesome way to structure your organization and think about it. I mean, football too.
Yes.
But again, like I was saying, like if you bring me in on the project, you say, hey, Sheba, I want you to come into my Worthless 2 Cents, and I want you to make it the number one podcast in the country. You put me on the project. Are you going to keep getting on the field telling me how to make it the number one podcast in the country when you ain't did it yet?
Come on now. Come on.
I'm like, you called me in here for a reason.
Right.
So why you keep telling me how to do what I know how to do, and you obviously didn't know how to do? You might have the long game vision, say this is what I wanted to do, but do you know how to build the thing that's going to get us over there? And if you don't, I need you to get your ass off the field because you're fucking it up. That's it. I'm sorry, but that's how I'm feeling, because I'm like, why are we doing this all the time? And I feel like it's because people feel like this is my baby. It's what I saw. It's what I wanted it to be. But I'm like, you don't know how to do it. That's why you asked for help. Like I would not take my car to the auto mechanic and say, I needed to stop doing this. And then every time I see them taking the piece off, I'm going over there going, what is that? And I don't have any understanding of being a mechanic. I don't know nothing about no parts. Right. I don't even know how to read my manual good, but I'm over here underneath the hood telling you what you need to do and you have some kind of certification. At least you're a shade tree, been doing it for 40 years. I'm telling you, and I have no idea. Right. So I'm just like, and then this is part of the evolution of my business. Me having to come to terms with the fact that I'm going to have those kind of hard conversations where I just say, what am I here for if you know how to do it all? Because there's no space for me to create. Like, do you need me to build something or not? Because it's kind of seeming like you don't know if you want me to help you. And maybe that's a sabotage thing too, because when I enter a room or a business or an organization, we're going to make some money. That's it.
Right. So
decide whether or not you want some money.
And I think and for some, maybe it's about what you just said, that's my baby, or losing control or losing. But my thoughts is this: if you're bringing someone in, first, I would hope, business-wise, I don't know, business-wise, I hope you have done some research on who you're bringing in. First, that would be I don't know nothing about me, but I would hope you've done some research and you've seen the track record. So if you've done that, then what you do is allow them, you have to allow water to be water. You have to allow them it to be what it is and do what it's supposed to do. And trust, maybe that's the problem. People don't trust the process.
Yeah.
You have to trust the process.
Yeah. And I promise you, I'm never going to show up to anything that you receive because I mean, if I'm your publicist or I'm your PR girl and you want to be an award-winning, whatever it is, I'm not going to pop up on the stage like I did that.
Right.
That's not how it works. It is I'm back here. I'm running the system that got you there, but go up there and do your thing because you paid me to do it. Like I'm getting paid to do what I do so that you can make more money or people can see you more or whatever it is. Like we don't have to fight about this. Like either you want it or you don't. Like I don't know. So like I said, like this is just the evolution of my business, and I'm not mad at it. I like learning what I need to learn on the journey, but it has been so interesting because I'm like, am I triggering you by helping you make money? Am I triggering you by helping you get recognized by certain people? Why do we have now this, and it's like, I think maybe that's the thing is like, there is some shifting that has to happen. Like, you're going to have to let go of some of your old ways if we want to grow. And
Yes.
people are very attached to how things have always been. But here's the bottom line, especially when it comes to business. If you don't make any changes, you're going to get the same results you always got. So then you look like you didn't get what you paid for,
Right.
and you're standing in the way, and we can't even construct the new process.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on,
You know,
come on.
I agree. And I'll say this is that people that this just came to my mind, people that think that as long as the foundation of whatever you built is solid, you can build it, you can erect a new house on that foundation. If you have that foundation of whatever it is, and you've established it, and you bring somebody else in, because that's like you bring in an architect, say, hey, I want you to build a house. This foundation here, bam, this is a solid foundation. Now I want you to put a house on this. You don't sit up there and go like, well, no, wait, no. You have said, I want you to do this. Now I trust that now I'm not looking at you going, well, the foundation, well, didn't you know the foundation was solid? So what you're trying to tell me is you want me to erect a beautiful house on your shaky foundation? Well, then
The cracks. And then here I come with the caulk gun, like, okay, well, we can't knock the whole thing over, so let's go ahead and put some. And you want to sabotage me, and I'm trying to fill a hole for you? What? How dare I fix your raggedy shit? My bad. Nah, I mean, I'll probably just need to have like some softer conversation because I can be kind of rough too. Like, I will really show up and be like, I need you to stop wearing that. And they're like, what? I'm like, you're killing the brand. You're killing the brand. It's not,
but that is what you're there to do, because what you bring is a different set of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Because what has happened to a lot of businesses and brands is that they only see where they can see. When you're bringing somebody in, they see a wider earth. And we sometimes growth is scary as well. Like, ooh, I wasn't ready to grow that big, that quick, that fast. Now, I'm nervous. Now I got to, maybe inherently I gotta sabotage it because now it's moving too fast for me and I ain't even ready for it.
Yeah. Well, don't call me over there if you don't want it to grow. I'm telling you, and I'm saying that to the public. Like, if you do not want to expand, and this is for my personal development people too, because expansion there is also hard, and most of the time it takes you to a place that is very yucky for a minute, because you have to. It's almost like being a baby or something that doesn't have any form, like formless.
Right.
So then you have to like solidify and then kind of bloom and like grow up. That sucks. Like, imagine being 35 years old and also being a baby at the same time because you just, came out of brand new.
Right.
But I probably do be taking them too fast. But like, you asked for it,
That's it.
Like, I'm like, but people are like that with their prayers too. Because let somebody pray and God answer the prayer lickety split. They'll be like, get away from me, Satan. And it's like, you really just made this ask though. And you had the faith, and here is the miracle.
Right.
And you kicked it. That's crazy.
That is. But it's because they ask for what they weren't ready to receive.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of people do it. A lot of people sit up and ask for things that they have not prepared themselves to receive.
Yeah.
That in itself is worse than not even asking.
Well, I read this book one time called A Course in Miracles. And it talks about just kind of like how miracles are performed through other humans, right?
Right.
Because we all know that God does not have a physical body other than the ones that we're using. So that is how miracles are performed, right? So like you could really be praying for growth in your business. And then I could show up on your timeline and I'm like, if you want to grow in your business, all you have to do is blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I'm sick of her. But I really just am here to answer that prayer. So then we get into it and it's like, here she go changing all my stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want it to improve or not? It's okay. Just like, it's part of the process.
That's it. That's it. That is so it. That is so it.
Yeah.
Miss Sheba, as we're getting here, old country boy, as I scratch my eye.
Yeah, it's definitely time for country boy to get ready for bed. Look, I just looked at my phone. I have like 10 missed calls.
I have one thing, and you already know what it is.
What's my why?
As we come here, there's one thing that before you leave for this platform, I would like for you to share with myself and the world. What is your why? Whenever you're ready. That's all.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry you went black for a second. I'm not sure if it's really going on or if I'm hallucinating. All right. So here's my why. My why for what? For my entrepreneurial journey or just for my life period?
Your life, your why.
My why is to achieve Black liberation through truth and vibration. So I am going to continue to tell the truth and share the truth because I believe that Black people are not free, even though we think we're free because we get to, watch Jada Pinkett talk about her and Will Smith's separation that we didn't know about. That was not our business. You're still not free. That's not freedom. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole other layer of energetic slavery that we are experiencing. And a lot of people don't realize that. So that's my why, because I am for Black liberation. And I don't even know exactly what is to be built in order to achieve that yet. I just know that's my why.
Wow.
Were you not expecting me to say that?
I wasn't expecting anything. I was just gonna receive whatever it was. Hey, look, old country boy just like to eat. I'm just telling you, whatever's on the plate, old country boy.
Yeah. I want us to be free. And I want us to be able to realize that every single person is born with a skill or a gift that they can use to make money. You can. So I'm not saying you have to build a Fortune 500 business with your gifts. I'm saying you need to be able to see the long game, which is the society that we've been looking at and living in and operating in is a little bit wobbly. So what would you do if you had to go live on a compound? What would your skill be? What if they didn't have your job that you go to every day? So don't wait until something like that happens for you to figure out who you were born to be. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. I like that.
That's all I'm saying.
I like that. Don't wait too late to find out why. Wow. Hey, there it is. She done said it. Well, Sheba, I thank you so very much. I will ask you if there's any parting words you want to leave. Is there a nugget or two you want to drop? Is there anything you want to promote? Is there anything you want to do. You can do it.
Okay. I want to invite people to all the events. So go follow me on Instagram at MUZE brand MGMT and watch my stories, watch my feed so you can see everything I'm involved in. Make sure that you come out to the Eckerson Chamber on October 27th so you can see Country Boy and help us raise some funds and pay into the scholarship that we're giving out. And then lastly, I am looking for business owners who are ready to invest in themselves to make an impact. But that also comes with changing. So yes, you're going to have to get rid of what's raggedy. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
That was good. Look, you held that one. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Because I'm not. Like, if you want to win, you gotta say no. That would be like a Coach Prime going to a team that's not that good because they have a few things they need to adjust, and them telling him, well, we're not going to do it that way because you're going to tell Deion Sanders that you don't want him to improve the situation that you guys are in. Like, yeah, maybe I'm not him yet, but I'm on my way. Okay.
I already told him we come.
Thank you so much, Johnny. I had a good time. And thanks for letting me ask questions. And, you're my friend that was a therapist tonight. So I appreciate it. Everybody in the comments for listening to Sheba talk about, well, how come? Maybe it's this. What do you think about this? I don't know. I'm human, you guys. So I have questions. I get my feelings hurt,
Hey, there it is. I appreciate it so much. Most definitely, y'all support the Eckerson Chamber of Commerce on the gala that's coming up on the 27th.
Yes.
7th.
Is he frozen or did he forget? What is happening, y'all?
I can't be remembered. On the 27th of October, the Eckerson Chamber comes, man, for these wonderful scholarships. They're doing wonderful things. It's real. It's here. Y'all go support Sheba. She's out there doing it. I'm telling y'all. I'm sitting. Y'all better get on the train. Because let me tell y'all something about a train. If you don't get on the train now, when it leaves the station, you're going to have to wait till it roll back around. Because when it's gone, it's gone. I'm just telling you, better get on the train. Y'all go follow her. Y'all go support her. She is doing wonderful things. She is a real one. She is a real one. And the country boy don't just be saying that. I say what I say when I say what I said. She is a real one. She is the boss. She is the boss.
I appreciate it. So I've just got to come to terms with being the boss, and that's it.
That's it. Walk. Now walk it out. Anyway, I'm sorry. But look here. Before we get up out of here, y'all know what the old country boy always tell you this. Look at here. If the good Lord has given you a vision, if he has given you a vision, don't worry what folks say. Don't worry who supports you. Don't worry who don't support you. Don't worry about who don't like it. Don't worry about who don't share. If the good Lord has given you a vision, there are going to be some folks that are going to come around just to be nosy. There are going to be some folks that just dip in and dip out. But if he has given you a vision, trust the old country boy. For every vision that he's given, and he's given all of us one, he has provided the provision for it. So you just keep on going. You keep on plucking. You keep on plucking that chicken until all the feathers are off of them and you can put them in some grease. That's what you do. You just keep on plucking. You keep on going. And lastly, but not leastly, if you woke up this morning and you opened your eyes and you looked around and you cleaned out your ears, but all you heard was some wind. Then you was out there today and you was looking around and you heard the old birds chirping, but they wasn't chirping the words you finna hear tonight. Well, look at here. You done made it. It is 9:20 p.m. right here, Houston time. And the old country boy is finna tell you, look at here. Me, and I think my guest tonight can vouch for this one too. Look here. We love you. We love you. And we love you unconditionally. And as the old country boy say, nothing absolutely positively nothing that you can do about it. Look here, last thing before I get off this thing, look here. Old country boy, Louisiana, the boot. I will be in the booth this weekend. It is Graham State University's homecoming, and I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. So Louisiana, get ready, because the Louisiana country boy is coming back home. Look here, we up out of here. I will see y'all on Monday. Sheba, keep being the boss.
Thank you. I will.
All right, we out here.